Keir Starmer is going to rig the country's elections to stay in power for a long time, according to Rishi Sunak. Is that going to be 14 years? Will it always be Keir Starmer, or will Keir Starmer be a sort of revolving door of prime ministers, opening up this wave, this tsunami of differing prime ministers, none of them elected? We don't really elect a prime minister. We elect a constituency MP. The prime minister happens to be the person chosen by the monarch who is representing the largest party. The prime minister is not our choice. The prime minister, despite the wittering on social media, is not elected by the people to be prime minister. We don't have that system. But maybe, as we become more presidential, as our elections are clearly more presidential, maybe the prime minister should be something set aside and elected individually. Maybe we need a more presidential form of election to go with a more presidential job. But somehow, I don't see Rishi Sunak, I don't see Keir Starmer as presidential material. And the fear-mongering by Rishi Sunak exposes Sunak as being a rather small individual, a rather cheap prime minister. He says, "Do not forget that Keir Starmer is asking you to hand him a blank cheque when he hasn't said what he'll buy with it or how much it's going to cost you." Well, it's going to cost you your children's education if you've chosen to send your child to a second-rate private school, because it's not worth it. And he's chosen very specifics, but he's also chosen to improve housing. He's also chosen to improve the NHS and to secure our defence. He's a long way from the Jeremy Corbyn image of Labour that I think Rishi Sunak would like to project. And as for this idea of clinging on to power by changing the electoral system, this is madness. Is this some sort of indication that he has heard on the grapevine that Keir Starmer wants to introduce PR, which will keep the Conservatives out of power for the foreseeable future? It may also keep Labour out of power for the foreseeable future. I think PR would be a magnificent thing to introduce. It might actually encourage real debate in the House of Commons again, rather than the slinging of slogans backwards and forwards that nobody really listens to. What is the point of the theatrical moments in the House of Commons when all the serious business has already been decided? It's a problem that the Speaker of the House of Commons is constantly referencing. Why are you making these decisions? Why are you making these presentations on the media, on television, in the newspapers, when you should be making these presentations when Parliament should be the first to hear about these things? The Speaker is quite right. We need a way to re-energise the importance of Parliament. I think that's more important than trying to establish a presidential prime ministership. And as for the threat of lowering the age of voting to 16, quote from Sunak, to make it harder to remove him from power, 16-year-olds are already debating these things. 16-year-olds are well versed in politics and want to engage in the political life of the nation. Politics is about opening up voting and opening up democracy, not about closing it down. If this is the best that Rishi Sunak can do, Rishi is on the wrong side of this debate. Absolutely, we must lower the voting age. Absolutely, we must bring more people into the democratic decision-making. Absolutely. And if that confuses who gets into power, well, so be it. You're either for democracy or you're against democracy. I personally am for it, even if that causes a little bit of a wobble. And I'm sorry, but, the Rishi Sunak scaremongering about this is simply wrong. Simply wrong.